A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, of course, as you would expect, the Euro 2024 Championships will get us talking. England, of course, playing today, and of course, France also were in action earlier. We'll be talking about the exploits of this European giants at the Euro 2024. We will also be talking about the Africa Senior Athletics Championship. We'll also factor in the just concluded Nigeria Premier Football League season. Enugu Rangers are champions, but of course there are other things to talk about. Teams to represent us on the continent and the teams that have dropped off and have dropped into the Nigeria National League. So that's the outlook of the show. We'll give you a little bit of grassroots sports development as we go on the show as well. All right, it's a two-man show. My colleague Austin Okonakpan is suited and ready as we take you on the strip across the money spinning water sports.
It's quite a great taste to you, Yemi. Shout out to everyone joining us on the show tonight. Still an action-packed total sports. If you've not been following what's going on in Germany with the Euros, then you should start. Yemi, when you take a look at that Group D table, who would have thought that it's small Austria that will top the table that's got France and the Netherlands? Football will never stop surprising us. We'll talk about the Euros on the show tonight. Can the Three Lions stepping up against Slovenia? It's not going particularly the way Gareth Southgate wants it to go, but hey, there's still so much time to be played in that one between England and Slovenia. Also, you talked about the Nigeria Premier Football League, aftermath of the Flying Antelopes, Enugu Rangers, emerging champions. We love what we saw, and we cannot wait to see an even bigger, more competitive season in the NPFL. Of course, we're counting down to the Olympics. Teams are getting ready. Nigerian athletes are right there in Douala for the Africa Senior Athletics Championships, and they are not, keeping quiet with that one, as they've got a lot of people talking about Team Nigeria's performance. We will talk about it also on the show tonight.
Yes, we will. Let's quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. Kehinde Idris joins us now. Greetings to you, Kehinde. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show. It's a lovely day to talk sports.
Of course, always a lovely day to talk sports. That's all we sign up for. But Tuesday is a tradition right here, and I'm looking at the lineup. I'm looking at juicy story. Enugu Rangers, beautiful story, but so much for me from the angle of Fidelis Elechukwu. And then our athletes. I'm seeing something very beautiful in 2024. Hopefully, it goes into the Olympics. We probably will be talking about so much medals when Paris 2024 gets to start.
All right, hopefully, we will be talking about the time is short, probably a little over 30 days to the Olympics as well. All right, Kehinde Idris talked about it. Austin referenced it. So let's start from there. Douala, Cameroon is where we're going now. Africa Senior Athletics Championship. Let's talk about Team Nigeria making us smile. And the first thing we want to talk about, it's the, of course, women's 4x100 meters final where, should I say, Nigeria dethroned Ghana, who seem to be taking that. And pictures on your screen, courtesy Making of Champions. Looking at this race, what do you make of it? Is it a reflection of what we're going to see at the Olympics? We've all agreed that our strength lies with the women.
Yeah, it lies with the women. Our strength also, lies in the Olympics. If you go down history lane, there is a way we have been particularly strong when it comes to competing at the at the relays, and this is not a surprise at all. We also saw how they performed earlier in the year, 4x1, 4x4 qualifiers for the Olympics and all of that. Yemi, I think if Nigeria is, if we are to go by starting with your strength and then later working on your weaknesses, one of our strengths is for us to put in more than enough into, relays. And I'm sure if you're talking of proper medals at the Olympics level, World Championship level, the relays are one of the places, we can get medals. But generally, athletics at a point, you can argue it that it's our number one sport, not even football. The way we have names scattered all around that you can easily just mention. I can remember those years of Falila to Bukoya, and the names just continue to bounce off. You mention them, you remember them, and all of that. Those were the days. You can't say athletics is at the forefront. Yes, there is football, but athletics kept giving us joy after joy, and I think Nigeria should go back to building on that. Let us work on what are our strengths, and athletics is one of the strengths that we've got. Yes, there will be football, there will be basketball. Then we can work on other smaller sports that can also shock the world when it comes to competing favorably. But athletics, with what I've seen in 2024, build up to the Olympics, I think I'm having some level of good confidence going into the Olympics. Yes, top athletes will be there, but you can also rave in your performances. Yeah. You can also bask in the euphoria of the triumphs of your athletes, and that is what they are doing. And really, I'm looking forward to having our athletes perform at Paris 2024. It feels like, for me, this might just be one of the Olympics Nigerians and Nigeria will remember for a long, long while.
All right, let me allow Austin to take it from there. Well, the men, they are propping it up from the rear. Didn't go as far as getting the gold, but still a decent performance. So let me, before we take a summary of everything that went down, Austin will fill in with his thoughts as well. My only concern is I just want these athletes to peak at the right time, translate this to the Olympics, and I'm happy we just over a month to the Olympics. So we should see, this should give us a good picture of what we're likely to see at the Olympics, even though it's a bigger stage at the Olympics.
Yeah, and some of us have been questioning, was it even necessary for them to go to this, championship? But now I'm beginning to see that it's important for them to keep the blend going, particularly with the men's team from what they did at the African Games in Ghana. It was good to see them again come together and, try to make impact. I was looking forward to seeing Sheye Ogunlewe with the team, but he wasn't there. But the team just did just enough, to get it going. Some of the big names that we've been seeing, particularly Shekiri, I've been monitoring and I see that he's in good form. He ran a good leg in that one, gave it to Alaba Adegoke, who also ran a good leg. And it's good to also see Godson Brume. So we're beginning to talk about the names that we've been talking about in the last three years, particularly with the women. At the Commonwealth Games, I saw Tema, God bless. I always tell her story, and she was almost crying. And she said, look, she really wanted to compete at the Commonwealth Games, but she was to go to the Youth Championships. From the Commonwealth Games in 2022 till now, she has grown so much, and she's not flexing with the big girls. I watched that women's relay. When it comes back, you will see how much they made the work easy. Let's just see that footage again. They made it so easy for Toby Amuson to just coast home. Titiana did a good start, gave it over to Tema, God bless, who ran so well. Then look at the work Olayinka Olajide did with the bend. They're beginning to perfect it, particularly the women. And then she handed over to Toby Amuson, who was so ready to race because she missed out on an event. She was sick, and the medical team advised her to rest, so she was really itching to get on the track. And then she anchored that one for Team Nigeria, and they won gold, a time of 42.72 seconds. Good one for the women. They're beginning to show that they boss the 4x100 meters relay in Africa. Anytime they step on the track, they are winning it. They're smashing their own records. That's consistency. That's sustaining the momentum. But for the men, I think they need to run more. And I still think they need to understand themselves, particularly in the exchange. And then we might just be seeing something good, because when you run as a team, you put in your individual brilliance to it. That's where there's self-development going on. So this looks like pretty much good times. Don't forget that Sebrume was also busy, and she did her thing with the women's long jump. So it's good time for athletics. Chukwuebuka Enekweche, not just smashing season best here and there, he's also winning gold. We cannot wait. Let's just hope that when they get to the big stage, they'll step up big time.
That's hope. We hope that this will be a reflection that we'll see at the Olympics. Let me quickly go across now and, a summary. Some of the things Austin has already highlighted, performance of Team Nigeria right there in Douala, okay? And so there you have it on your screen. We've raved about this one since last week. Chukwuebuka Enekweche winning gold in the men's shot put with a championship record of 21.20 meters. Ashley Anuba wins gold in the women's discus final with a throw of 59.30 meters. And Austin referenced this one as well as Brume winning the long jump final with a jump of 6.37 meters. These are the gold medalists, by the way. So it didn't end there. Let's talk about the silver medalist. The quartet of Justina Eya Pobenya, Tema, God bless, Olayinka Olajide and Tobi Amosho. Austin also referenced it, and you saw the clips, winning the women's 4x100 meters final, clocking a time of 42.76 seconds to win that. Silver medalist Shade Olatoye in the women's amateur, Obiageri Amechi, of course, in the women's discus throw 1 and 2 for Nigeria there. Temitope Adesina winning the women's high jump final. Team Nigeria winning the mixed 4x400 relay. 4x400 relay, the Team Nigeria team, the mixed team that is, winning that one. And Team Nigeria men's 4x100 relay team also got a silver. These are the silver medalists. Now let's talk about the bronze medalist, Ella Joseph, women's 400 meters, Goodness Iradia, men's long jump, a bronze for Team Nigeria, and Chioma Oyekwere winning the women's bronze medal in the women's discus throw. So we're hoping that all of this will not fizzle out when we get to the Olympics. All right, let's move on from athletics on the show and talk about the just concluded Nigeria Premier Football League. First, we want to take a look at the results, the final day results, the permutations, the calculations. Some did what they had to do, but results in other places didn't make it possible for them. Shooting-Stars, for instance, needed to do their job and hope that something happened elsewhere, but that thing didn't happen on the day. Week 38 results, the final day is what we're looking at. And of course, Gombe United losing to Rangers International. Rangers International already crowned champion. They got their trophy in Jos. Aqua United sealed it up, winning 3-1 against Rivers United. Benel Insurance lost to Bielsa United 2-0. Doma United, of course, they are out of it all. Played a 1-1 draw with Abia Warriors. The Aba Elephants, Seimba, also defeated Plateau United 2-0. These are match 38 results. We flip it quickly and look at the other results. Kano Pillars beat Lobby Stars 3-2. You want to feel sorry for Lobby Stars. Up to a point, they were in the conversation, but at some point they just dropped off. Kwara United hammered. Emphatic win for Kwara United. Defeated Heartland 4-0. Niger Tornadoes beat the Akure Gunners 2-1. Remo Stars did themselves a big favor. The destiny were in their own hands, and they didn't let anything slip out of their hands. Defeated Casina United 2-1 at home. The Oluyole Warriors, Shooting Stars, also defeated Sporting Lagos. If Sporting Lagos was looking for any favor from their big brothers, they weren't going to get it on that day. So it turned out it was a final nail in their coffin. All right, let me allow Austin react quickly. For Lagos fans, it does leave a sore taste in the mouth with what happened. But it's 1 out, 1 in for Lagos fans. So maybe they'll make do with that.
Yeah, but it's quite disappointing because they would have loved to see Sporting Lagos, keep it going. They brought a lot of vibes to the league. They brought some changes. I think they were also some sort of motivation for, some level of consideration for private ownership of clubs in Nigeria. I thought they were their own undoing in the second stanza. They set out an objective that they couldn't fulfill, particularly with Coach Ofo getting out of the system. They were dropping points at home, particularly that draw against Rangers, and I think one time they lost to Lobby Stars. So when you're fighting the relegation battle, you know, the least you want to do for yourself is don't lose at home. You know, you can draw and find a way to go away from home to also pick a draw. But I always tell people in football, it just takes one or two bad draws and your season is over. You know, check what's going on even at competition mode at the Euros. Just one or two bad draws, you start asking questions. Go and ask Croatia, you know, ask the Netherlands. So that's what happened with Sporting Lagos. Unfortunately, they're relegated. But if the setup is right, which I see so from a distance, you know, I've not been opportune to meet the managers of the club to really understand their vision. I don't think going to the NNL will be any problem for them. They will definitely bounce back. I think they can still make good profits if they have their setup properly. You know, as you said, yeah, there's another Lagos team coming in. I think we need more of the Sporting Lagos vibes in Lagos. I like the energy they brought into the league, brought a lot of innovation, they brought a lot of young people back, you know, to the stadium. They experimented properly without to, you know, make football fun. So it's quite unfortunate, but their destiny wasn't in their hands anymore, particularly when they were going to Ibadan to play Shooting Stars that had one fit on the continent. So better luck next time to Sporting Lagos. But for the teams that qualified for the continent, I hope they know now that the work should start so Nigeria can give a better representation on the continent. I think we had a competitive season, Yemi. We should celebrate it. We had football on television. We should do more with that. We should do more with infrastructure. Officiating was fair enough this season, I must say. We should keep getting better so that we keep saying the right things about football development in Nigeria and find ways to bring in those investments that are missing. Look at Rangers, for instance. You see that picture, you understand that, yes, hard work truly does pay, particularly the work you put behind the scenes. Amobi and his team, they came, they re-strategized, they bring in strategic vision, they pumped up visibility, and today Rangers are champions of the league. They didn't just win the league, they played good football, they were consistent, they promoted fans' engagement, they did so much, and it tells you that is what you sow, you reap.
All right, I agree with you 100%. What you sow is definitely what you're going to reap. All right, let's quickly, before I get Kende's thoughts, let's quickly take a look at how the implication of everything, the table, how it looks, the top four, bottom four, implication, the teams that will go on the continent, the teams that are relegated. So let's start with what it looks like. Rangers International winning 70 points, goal difference of 23 after 38 matches, followed closely by Remo Stars. We look at the implication of Remo Stars finishing in the second position. They are 65 points. They are by Elephants, of course, 63 points, followed by Shooting Stars. Good second second stanza performance by Shooting Stars. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to get anything for them. Bottom four is where the pain is, because all of the teams you would see now will no more be in the Nigeria Premier Football League. So let's quickly look at the bottom four for our viewers, and that's it. All the four teams here, it doesn't matter if you were bottom or top, all the four teams here are no more in the Nigeria Premier League. So you're talking about Sporting Lagos, Doma United, Heartland, and Gombe United. Quickly, before we go on a break, let's take a look. Which teams will go on the continent? Which teams are officially relegated? These are the relegated teams. We'll talk about the Sporting Lagos, Doma United, Heartland, Gombe United, relegated teams. All right, let's talk about the teams going on at the continent. The top two, definitely, you will know that the top two, let's flip this quickly. The top two going to the continent, you have Rangers and of course, Remo Stars, top two going for the CAF Champions League. Rangers International, the Flying Antelopes, Remo Stars in that one. And the Confederation Cup, they are by Elephants, of course, after coming third in the league. Then whoever wins the President's Federation Cup, that's between Kebbi United and Abia Warriors. So whoever wins this would represent Nigeria in the CAF Confederation Cup. All right, so that's that's it for the placement of the teams. I think we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, I'm going to get Kehinde Idris' thoughts on how all of these things panned out. We'll listen to some critical stakeholders talking about their teams' aspiration for next season, and of course the consequence of how this season has ended. Let's go on that break. Also, let our viewers know that when we return from this break on our DSTV platform, they will be seeing Inside the Niger Delta with Mahmoud Akuga. But on all our other platforms, you will still be on to Sports Night, where we'll be doing the post-mortem of the Nigeria Premier Football League, giving you a review and also preview of what is happening at the Euro 2024. Let's go on that break. We'll come back for more. Welcome back. Well, as I have Kehinde Idris with me, and of course, I'm still with my with my partner on the show, Osino Kodakwan. But see, Kehinde Idris, I want to get your thoughts quickly. You can't argue with how everything has ended.
Yeah.
But what could have been? What could have been? Some will argue if Shooting Stars had started the way they ended, if Lobby Stars had kept a bit of consistency, like Austin said, if Sporting Lagos, had taken something seriously the way they took the other side of all of those things. But ifs and what ifs don't matter in football.
Because the deed has been done. Mm-hmm. Yes. I can remember match day 16, 17, where Bengal Gubota was read the Riot Act. We're giving you a 3-match ultimatum. Mm-hmm. If you don't perform, then you're out of the job. That was the turning point for Shooting Stars. Yes, they struggled in the first 2 games after the ultimatum, and then they picked. From the moment they did, it was like, we should have told Bengal Gumbota
earlier.
As much as he's a fantastic coach, I think he needed that awakening. He needed to hear that, and that really, sparked something inside of him, and he translated that to the team, and Shooting Stars never looked back. Even on the day they were beaten, it was almost a case of you're a superb team. That's why you had to beat Shooting Stars at this point. So maybe that is where the ifs for a Shooting Stars would have been. Probably after match day 3 or 4, it would have been told this and that. For darling Sporting Lagos, because Lagos is way too... Lagos has too much eyes on it for it to not have, club level football at this highest level. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the bitterness. Although it's all good, the Ikorodu City is coming in, but what Sporting Lagos brought in, the fanfare, the funfair, the paparazzi, getting everybody turning their heads towards league football in Nigeria. I think they did a massive job on that. Like I said, maybe if they had put that kind of energy into the
football on the
now,
field.
The pain for Sporting Lagos wasn't the fact that on the road they were so poor. 4 draws out of 19 games, 1 none.
Wow.
They had only 4 draws in 9. So 15 games were lost. They were busy donating points on their way off. And then at home, you were still dropping points. See, there is no way. We talk about it's competitive. Some people say because the football is so crazy in the NPFL that you need to watch day by day, like you and I do, for you to understand it. And Sporting Lagos felt that brunt, and I'm sure if they come back, they will do better. Like Remo Star had to relegate twice for them to understand, this is crazy. It's nothing compared to where you're coming from. And I hope Sporting Lagos, like Austin also said, they bounce back and even get to do, better. I think the most painful story in the NPFL this season is Doma United. The way Doma started, I was rooting for them. Last season, 2 seasons ago, this season is already finished. They were looking like that team that was just being discovered. And they started on that note. This just concluded season, and I thought, fantastic. Privately owned team, you're doing so well. We'll root for you every other week. And then all of a sudden, they started nosediving. It started from 1 game, it's just a game, 2 games, and then after 5 games, it's just this phase, they'll pick themselves, and they never did up until the end of the season. And that's so bitter, for Doma United and for Gombe. I don't know what they'll be doing now. 2 teams lost in the same season. That's sad. Gombe United went down. But for the top teams, Rangers play good football to be where they are. Eyimba always there. And for Remo Stars, I think the lessons are being learned over and over again.
Since you talked about Gombe, I think it's only fair for us to listen to the Gombe United coach, obviously very sad and disappointed, Haruna Abdullahi, talk about the relegation of Gombe United. We'll listen to him. We'll come back for more.
Actually, if you can see from the game that we played very well. For each and every game we play, it's also the same. We played very well. Our problem is not about on the field of play. Finances is one of the key. Sometimes we go to a match venue on the day of a match. How can you play game? We try as much to see that we play very well to protect our image and the image of the state, not because of the money. We try as much to see that we remain in the Premier League, but it's unfortunate. It is early. From the earliest stage, we lost the run. Now we are going to do all our best, recruit good players. Hopefully the government give us finances, then we'll do our best so that we'll come back to the Premier League. Like I earlier told you, Gomenati is a government team. The other one is somebody's own. So for our own, actually is the finance. But if you can see from the Doma side, in the first round, they are almost at the first and second position. Finance too distorted them and make it, and that's what makes them to come down. And also, maybe because of that finances, they cannot be able to meet up as usual. Like I told you, we sometimes go to the venue of the match at that day, some thousands of miles on the way, and go and play match without resting. So you can't do anything. That's the point.
All right, Coach Haruna Abdullahi speaking there, and of course painted a picture of what happened. All right, a lot of ground for us to cover, so let's quickly move on. I'll yield to Austin now. Of course, the people in charge of the NFL also had a few things to say. I'm very sure Austin will make us listen to one or two of them. Everybody is doing their own postmortem.
That's right. I mean, when you listen to Coach Haruna, you will feel for him, actually, because it's not just Gombe United. Most teams in the MPFL, they're suffering, that same funding issue. And that's right. Doma suffered it in the second half of the season. In the first half of the season, they had the right objectives. They had eyes on the prize. They were doing so well. They were in the top four, And then second stanza came and everything, just collapsed. So I hope the organizers of the league are listening, find ways to see how we can support the clubs, because it's not easy, and we know that majority of these clubs are government-owned, so the government, they're not interested in treating it like business. They just want to, go out there and just play football, and if they win, they can jump on some propaganda publicity. Let's listen to Benga Elegbele. He's the chairman of the Nigeria Premier Football League, and he's been taking a look at the season and what has been achieved so far.
My vision for Nigeria League is that we should be the best in Africa. And we must just be the best in Africa. Let me tell you, we have a country of over 200 million people. Almost everybody loves football. There's opportunity for you, and we have the talent. Then what stops us from being the best in Africa? We are the most populous country in this world, in Africa. We have the highest number of footballers in Europe. Play professional league everywhere in the world. Then in this continent of Africa, nothing stops us from being the best. We should be the best. Now, you talk about the organized private sector. League is, the football generally is strictly a commercial venture. Football is business. So those who knows what business of football are investing in football and making a lot of money from it. And we're encouraging private companies to look into the system of Nigeria League. We are growing, we are making progress. This is not the league of yesteryears. It's a new, improved Premier League. The people should come and invest in it. And I expect our players to earn more salaries. People should get, you can see everywhere you go now, you see crowd in the stadium. So those with business opportunities will get visibility for their business if they invest in football.
That's the chairman of the league, Benga Elegbele, reminding us that, look, the Nigeria Premier Football League can be the best in the world. Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Chairman. I also agree that it's time for us to commercialize it, but just take a look at that stadium that they played that game. The new Just Stadium has been abandoned for like forever. It doesn't even have a proper stand. That's the problem. You know, I won't take the crowning of the league champions to this sort of stadium. I would rather they play that final game and then we'll go to a ceremony in Enugu for Rangers, because it's on television, and if we think commercial, Kehinde Idris, we must tick all the boxes to make people who are coming to put their money into football know that we are serious and actually treat it as a business where there will be return on investments.
It's as simple, Austin. Sometimes I sit back and I ask myself that, do our sport administrators, in this case football administrators, understand that if you put round pegs in round hole, we'll make lots of money?
Say it the way we say it when you are off camera.
Yes.
There will be enough for everybody.
Exactly.
There will be enough on the table
for the players, coaches, administrators,
without
looking at the government.
Yeah.
I don't know. I keep saying there is no amount of money you make that you make as much as the EPL. There is no amount of money you make that you make as much as it's a worry that you are not thinking in that same line. Let us see. We've said it time and time again.
Let's move on, Kehinde. If I play what you said,
we said it.
If I play what you said 2 months ago, it's the same. So let's move on. Let's talk about Rangers now and that trophy parade. I mean, it's a long time coming. 8th title for the Flying Antelopes. You're going to see the pictures now. Interesting times for Rangers, and worthy champions they are, should be celebrating, rightly so. You can't see pictures, everyone's seated. I mean, success has many, you have many friends when you succeed. A packed venue there for the celebration. You could see the boss, you could see the trophy parade at the Okpara Square, which was where it happened. They said they were going to do it, and they did it. And of course, everybody's trying to copy standard practice, international standards. At least this is good to see. Let's take some reactions from there. The Enugu State government is promising to support Rangers International, as you would expect after they've done this. Let's listen to that. We'll come back for more.
Let's go.
We have our marching orders from His Excellency the Governor to make sure to do everything possible to put the stadium in good shape to ensure that continental football is played here in Enugu. You spoke about painting. Well, if you know our governor, you know he's a man of high taste. You know he's a man of high expectations. So it doesn't just stop at a mere painting job. It's much deeper than that. It's much larger than that. By the time the government of Enugu State, led by Dr. Peter Bisiba, is done with the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, you will not recognize it. The idea is that it will look nothing like it looks now, and certainly will look nothing like it ever looked before. The idea is to bring to our people a modern, world-class playing arena, and that's what we're going to have as we go into the Continental.
We had gone into this sponsorship perhaps for a more altruistic reason than just a brand recognition. But having done what we have done with the intention of uplifting Nigerian youth we've been blessed with good fortune because Rangers is everywhere. In fact, the social media is buzzing. I'm getting people from America sending me videos of what was happening in Jos yesterday. So you can see the profile that's built for AfroInvest is quite significant.
All right, so of course, success now bringing a lot of attention to Enugu State and promises made by the government. Austin, the next thing we're going to talk about, even though I wish we had time, to me it's a worrying signal, even though a lot of people are saying, some people think it's good. There's this trend, a team qualified for the Champions League, and the next thing they think about, let's overhaul this team. And usually what happens is they won't do well in the tournament, they won't do well in the league, and it takes them 2-3 years to become a contender, maybe 3-4 more years before getting back to winning the title. And it appears that's what Rangers wants to do.
That's the norm. I mean, and you can't blame the players because now that you've won the league, clubs from Libya, Sudan, Egypt, Tunisia will start coming for these players. And they just want to leave Nigeria, you know, so you cannot blame them. And then if the club has got ambition, you've won the league now, put words to action. That's why I want to hold the officials of Enugu Rangers. I'll hold them accountable because I know for sure that CAF will not approve that stadium in Enugu. So now that you know and you're saying, oh, we're going to turn it around, we're going to this, we're going to that, you must put words to action. Look at what the official of AfroInvest said. That's just a tiny little bit of what it means to invest in football. That people in America are bringing pictures from Jos, those ugly pictures from the stadium. But that was big visibility for AfroInvest and what they've done for Enugu Rangers. So it tells you that if we get it right and bring more private partnership into the league, it will grow. But now people will sing, dance, throw money around and forget that there's so much work to be done, that they need to fix that stadium, that they need to beef the squad, that they need to improve players' welfare, that you need to keep the team together because you're going to be playing in the CAF Champions League, you know. But it is what it is. We just achieve small success and we spread our legs, put on the air conditioner and go to sleep. When you win, it's more work because to stay winning isn't easy. So I just hope that Enugu Rangers will do it. That's what affected Rivers United. They didn't have a stadium, so they go to Akwa Ibom to play. It's not the same. So Enugu Rangers, you must keep it going. Now get to work, fix that stadium, keep your players, and get your football to the next level. They are saying they want to beef the squad. Let's listen to our officials of Enugu Rangers again. I'll come back, we'll get on with the show.
What it means for us is that we must plan structurally. We must look at the club licensing criteria. We must look at infrastructure criteria. We must look at personnel and administrative criteria. We must look at the financial criteria. We started over a month plus ago. We started our scouting review briefings. You saw that last week we announced we had our technical and scouting briefing. We are not going to announce here the players we've scouted and the players we intend to sign, but I assure you that we've gone around Africa to see that we get players that will beef up the team for the CAF Champions League.
So, I mean, it sounds good, you know, it's reassuring. I just hope that they do the right things. And when you say scouting and you've gone around Africa, what about the guys that won the league? You are also speaking to agents who come and pick them up, and then you go back to square one. Aqua United won the league. They almost got relegated. You'd expect that sort of team that with what they achieved then, they keep getting better and better. So it's a sorry situation in our league football, and I just hope that someday, somehow, we'll get it right.
I hope so. Can't do this. I can't let this go without you saying something. You were nodding your head.
Yeah.
At some point, you almost banged the table.
Yeah.
When you were listening.
I was listening, and it's also what Austin painted. It's so painful that we ply the same road, expecting for that road to lead us to elsewhere. It will lead us to the same way we've always been. Now, this is just the simple thing I want to say. Rangers International, Enyimba, Remo Stars, and whoever who is between KB and Abia Warriors. this is the period where the management, the administrators, look at when CAF competitions will start. There is always a calendar. Is it August? Is it September? A month, 3 weeks to that competition starting, you must be ready. If you are not ready, forget it. You will go, be a part of the number and come back empty-handed. Because that's what we've always done. But if you want to achieve anything, this is the period for you to check. Okay, it is August. How do we plan for August? That is it. If you don't plan, then you are ready to fail.
All right. Hopefully, this time it will be different with Rangers. All right, let's go to... Okay, we'll do this when we're out of the studio. All right, let's move on the show tonight. We'll spend a few minutes we have left to talk about Euro 2024. As always, our man also Kola Akbar is, furiously skipping through his phone to give us live update. But let's start with the one that we have, which are the results that we know. What happened today? And Austin alluded to it in the beginning. You would think a group that had the Netherlands, that also had France. One of them would top. That's what you would think. But guess what? That group has Austria topping the... I still can't understand how that happened. So let me just quickly go across. I will show you the results, show you the teams that have qualified. Then Austin will tell us what is happening with England. Let me just quickly go across now. And there you have it. France and Poland, courtesy Robert Lewandowski penalty, they were able to get a point. It wasn't useful for them in any way. The Netherlands lost 3-2 to Australia, and at the end of the day, Australia coming on top, France and the Netherlands, fighting. Austria on top, and France and the Netherlands fighting for scraps, if I can put it that way. Let's quickly take a look at the teams that have qualified for, there you have it, for the last 16. France, England, no matter what happens with the game they're currently playing, they're through. Netherlands, Germany, Austria, Spain, Portugal, Switzerland, and Italy. And of course, by the time the matches currently going on are done, a few other teams will join this ones. So there you have it, the results for. Kaide Idris, let's quickly talk about what we have on our hands. In a minute, because we're pressed for time. I've been particularly disappointed with France. I used to like the fact that Didier Deschamps is pragmatic, but there's no way you can explain how France have played these 3 games.
I think a couple of teams have disappointed us. I think France is one of them. England is also, another. And then
even the Netherlands.
In 3 games, I was just about to mention, in 3 games, the Netherlands have shown that, we can just have moments in all of these 3 games, not an emphatic, display in 90 minutes. It's been 1 brilliance, 2 brilliance, in a game or so, and that's been disappointing. And probably, like we always say, minors are stepping up, but I think it's the undoing of these top teams. And the Euros have given us magic. The likes of, Albania, Hungary, you just mentioned Austria, and then so many other teams stepping up to look into the eyes of these big teams or big boys, like we call them, and say, hey, we know you will eventually go ahead to the round of 16 quarterfinals, but we'll make you sweat. And they had to sweat to be there.
All right. Let me go to Austin now. Probably that's going to be our parting shot on the show. You've been furiously hitting your phone, refreshing it by the second. So what do you have to tell us? What's happening with England?
I'm actually watching the game, and England, they are sweating. They're sweating to get a goal against Slovenia. That game now, it's in its 89th minute, and nothing is happening in the 70th minute. Gareth Southgate just thought, okay, could switch things up a bit, and then he brought in Cole Palmer for Bukayo Saka. Cole Palmer now, putting in the runs, throwing in the passes, but the goal isn't just coming because Slovenia, they know that if they can avoid a defeat or leave the game this way, then they will be second on the group. England will top with 5 points. Slovenia will be second with 3. Denmark will be 3 points also. And then Serbia will be at the bottom with 2 points. So if it stays this way, because the game between Serbia and Denmark is still goalless. So if it stays this way, Slovenia will be safe. But I join people to say now that this English team, they must find a way to start doing the right things, because it's so obvious that they're struggling. But hey, that's European football for you, where the small teams are out to prove a point. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpa, and in everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, it's a wrap in Lagos, but I want to thank Kehinde Idris for his time on the show. Yeah. Very excited, Kehinde Idris. We'll take the conversation out of the studio.
Of course, it's been an amazing 2024. Right. Asian Cup, AFCON together, right. Now the Euros and Copa America together. All right. Speaking about Copa America, we're going to leave you with highlights of Copa America, asking you to enjoy your day and join us again tomorrow. I'm Emi Adebayo. Bye-bye.